My name is Luan Nondeya. I'm a UCT alumnus, class of 2012. In today's episode of Alumni Conversation Series, we have the one and only Tlalane Letlhaku, and an engineer actually that comes from from UCT, who's currently up there at the Department of Water Affairs. But let me not spoil it for you. Let me rather let her introduce herself. Tlali, you're on.
Hi. As Lando has introduced me, I'm Tlalane Letlhaku, and I am a UCT graduate, class of 2016. I studied civil engineering there. And yeah, let's chat more about me in this conversation. Yes.
And to kick things off, I just want to hear from you a bit about yourself, where you come from, and what actually brought you to UCT as a student.
Okay. I'm from Mafikeng, but I'm actually from a small village, 20 kilometers outside of Mafikeng. And the reason why I went to UCT, as shallow as may be, I wanted to be closer to the beach. But after all, it was the #1 university in the continent. I had applied to it and other two universities in the country. But yeah, I just wanted to be at the best university in Africa. And I was drawn to University of Cape Town. And that's where I decided to start my journey in civil engineering. To when I studied in 2012. I studied in 2012, yes.
Speaking of that, why engineering? I mean, you could have done everything else, but why specifically engineering?
Obviously, it was a chance thing. I think more than anything, exposure. In high school, when you're excelling in maths and physics, teachers will always say, yeah, you need to become an engineer, you need to become a doctor or an actuary. And fortunately for me, when I was in grade 11, the Department of Water and Sanitation had a program that they were running for high school kids. And I entered the program, a competition. It was about solving water problems. I ended up winning a bursary. From winning a bursary, I was just drawn to civil engineering. I didn't want to study mechanical engineering because why? Why do I need to study cars, and all the mechanics that comes with engineering? So I was drawn to bridges. I was drawn to water infrastructure and just take into consideration the water issues that I had around me growing up. And I was like, I want to be part of the solution. And the Department of Water and Sanitation offered me that opportunity. And I grabbed with both hands and applied for civil engineering.
Oh, wow. And what were your favorites, like your favorite memories as a student at UCT? The favorite places that you like to hang out in? Like every time you think about it, it brings these feel good memories basically about your time at UCT.
My favorite part about UCT, your favorite memory has to be the UCT Dam. I really loved going to the UCT Dam. It was one of the most scenic parts on campus. But I think being around Jamie Hall, it's not called Jamie Hall now.
Sarah Batman Hall. Yeah.
Lunchtime with my friends, catching up over conversations, just to de-stress because yeah, UCT, the pressure there is real. So, and I think I loved the community there as well. More than anything, more than the places, UCT has, a great sense of communities from lecturers to students, even the people that work at res and so forth. Yeah.
Mm. And were there any particular experiences or lessons from your time at UCT that actually shaped your career as to where you are at today?
Hmm. Not a particular experience, but I think being at UCT really teaches one to be resilient. And I think that's people like to say UCT is the one university that doesn't teach, it forces you to do on your own. And you don't just get a UCT degree. I think the environment really challenged me a lot. Just having to excel, and you need those kind of skills when you get into a career like mine, and people skills. I had the opportunity of serving in the student council, in the Engineering Built Environment Student Council. And that's also one of the things that really helped me shape my career path, the skills that I had attained from being, in one of the portfolios there. So more than anything, working with people, UCT will really, shape you into, being a very resilient human being, because it's either you make it or you don't.
Oh, wow. And basically, can you describe for us with your, oh, what you call this thing? Sorry, just try. Okay. So, can you describe for us with your, in your own words, basically your current role? What does it involve basically on your day to day, and what do you enjoy about it?
Okay. So as I work for the Department of Water and Sanitation, we are the custodian of the water resource in South Africa. It sounds so powerful. But I work in the dams section, dam safety surveillance. So what we basically do is we're responsible for the safety of almost 350 dams that are owned by the department in South Africa. South Africa has about more than 5,000 registered dams. But of the 350 that we own, we account for 80% of the water in South Africa. So they are major dams. And there are a lot of safety issues that regards to public safety that, you know, are related to dams. So my day-to-day based work would be working on dam safety evaluations every 5 years. Because we have so many dams, it's an annual thing. Dam safety rehabilitation projects, and then dam safety inspections that come with it. Also designs. So the designs related to rehabilitations, I would work on them. So our daily job in my section is to ensure that South Africa's dams remain safe. And if there's anything that's alarming, we take care of it. So, we don't have to lose the public.
Hmm. And how was the transition for you, basically straight after graduating and then hitting the real world, especially in a space of engineering, because it's a very practical type of like role that you play into. But how was that transition from books into on the field and actually seeing standing in front of a dam? And also again, the question following that, what is your favorite dam in South Africa?
Yeah. The transition was not easy, to be honest, because as much as you learn all the basics in university, it's literally just a small percentage of what you see in the real world. Yes, you know how dams work, you know what a spillway is. And the theoretical assessment is way different from the practical in the real world. But I think the adjustment, I really anchored myself with good mentors around me. And I was really grateful to have people that were really that really cared about my career path. There was support, and the only way also to keep yourself sharp in this industry is to continuously study, continuously research. And that really, really made the transition very easy for me, I must say. But it took a bit of time. I think a year or two into work, I started to find my feet and I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And this is what I love. And my favorite dam in South Africa has to be Harry Dam. That's, the mighty Harry Dam. Um, it's the biggest dam in South Africa by capacity, even though it's not the highest. But yeah, it's between the Free State and Eastern Cape, just on the river there. So yeah.
And what advice basically would you give the current students who want to make the most of their time while at UCT?
I think strike a balance in everything that you do. Especially if you're studying difficult degrees, like you say, engineering. People always say, yeah, you have to be in the lab all the time. You have to be in the library 24/7. If you do that, you're probably planning to fail. Have a life, strike a balance. I was involved in student council. I was an orientation leader at some point, some mentoring to first year, and go out. Go to the beach if you can, but also make use of support structures in your faculties. If you're struggling, whether it's your academics or financially, seek support. That will really make life easier for you. Speak to your tutors, engage with your fellow students, because in as much as you're going to have that degree at the end of your journey and it's going to have your name alone, you need people around you. Yes.
And then for you, again, most people will assume that it's like an easy walk. If you're good at maths and science, you can just cruise through. The journey for you, was it an easy one or?
No. Far from being easy. It was very difficult, I must say, especially first year, because university is very different from high school. High school, you're in a class with 30 other students, and there's one teacher that knows you, that probably knows your parents, that probably knows your friends or your family. So you are in a very safe space, kind of being spoon-fed, even though you are really learning very hard. So but first year was very difficult for me, to the point where I wanted to quit. I wanted to leave engineering. I was like, I want to study film and media. And because it's a passion of mine, it's like I can't do this. The maths is just too difficult. But one thing that really saved me was seeking support. I went to my academic advisor and I was like, look, this is where I am. What do I need to do? And we sat down and we formulated a plan. And I was able to just get out of that dark hole that I was in. And yeah, I cruised through. I think had I not, reached out to her and seek support, I probably would have been excluded. But yeah, it wasn't an easy road.
And when people actually look at South African, like especially in the government space, the big thing that most people always see is problems, corruption, it's failure. But what is the one or two things that the Department of Water Affairs is they actually excelling or they doing some great work that people actually in South Africa maybe do not know about? Like basically to brag about your department. What is that one
Yeah.
great or two things that they're doing so well?
I think one thing at the core of water and sanitation is because you and I are sitting here today clean with safe drinking water because water and sanitation works. We are responsible for the bulk water supply, the raw water supply in South Africa, because with the resources, we are responsible for ensuring that, areas that don't have water, we transfer from other basins or catchment to ensure that those people are able to get water. So our responsibility is to, especially from a surface water perspective, building of dams and ensuring that there's sufficient water to supply for downstream users. The farmers, you always hear farmers that you must thank the farmer that you ate today. Well, the farmer relies on the Department of Water and Sanitation for that water. So I think one of the amazing projects that the department is currently working on is the raising of Clan William Dam. They're raising it about 13 meters. 13 meters is quite high when you think about it. Clanwilliam Dam is by Clanwilliam Town in the Western Cape. I think that's one of the most fascinating projects that you can look up. Just look up the raising of Clanwilliam Dam. It's to increase the capacity and ensure that downstream users have more water supply, in essence. Yeah.
And something actually that I actually saw it by chance. I think it was like last year or something, where I actually didn't even know existed in South Africa. The, is it the tunnel or the catchment system, basically, where you connect all the dams? Can you actually talk more about that?
Yeah, so we have those interbasin isn't transfers. For example, we have water, the Lesotho, there's a tunnel that transfers water from Lesotho to South Africa. And if also Harit Dam does supply water to the Eastern Cape, and at some point from the river system, there is a tunnel that supplies water. So what happens is if you have dams that are not upstream of a particular area, but they have sufficient water, what we would do is we would have either a tunnel that would transfer that water through a gravity system, or maybe in other instances, a pumping system that would be combined with a gravity system to be able to supply water to those people. We get water from South Africa because from Lesotho, because Lesotho has plenty of water. Their big dams, Katse Dam. So they sell water to South Africa. They provide water through South Africa through a tunnel. And at some point last year, this tunnel was closed down for maintenance. It's something that happens every 10 years. And yeah, it's one of those fascinating things of like, okay, this is the power of engineering, taking one water from one area that would not normally get that water and give it to another side. Yeah.
And now for the young Tlalanes there, or the young gentlemen out there who are actually studying. Okay, I don't know, something was banging around here. So for the young Tlalanes, or the young gentlemen who are out there who are studying, for example, civil engineering, and they're interested in, especially in the water space, are there actually any other, especially for someone like you who've won so many competitions, are there any actually opportunities that are out there for them, like in terms of shadowing, internships, or something maybe they can look out to?
Yeah, definitely. With the Department of Water and Sanitation has a learning academy. It's a graduate program that takes graduates as well as interns, learner interns that are still at university. So I think if you just go to the Department of Water and Sanitation website, or you can just go into Google and search Department of Water and Sanitation Learning Academy. You go to their landing page, and there's plenty of opportunities. They offer bursaries. There's potential to get VAC work. You could be placed here while you're still studying to get exposure. It'll give you an idea of whether you want to be in the space or not. But I think more than anything, if you're still studying, get involved in societies on campus that are related to your field of study. Join your SciCs, join your ABSIB. I don't know what the other ones are, all those voluntary associations. They will definitely open you up to, opportunities, opportunity to network. You may not always get a job, but I think it'll broaden your mind, how you think, and the spaces that you could potentially be in the future.
And also expanding on that, what message though would you like to leave for UCT students and young alumni who are also aiming to make an impact on their different careers that they are doing?
And I think the most important thing is they need to know what they're passionate about. I know it's very cliche, it's like find your passion, but I think the greatest impact is made through, something that comes from within. I joined the water sector, or the Department of Water and Sanitation, because I had a passion project. I was passionate about solving water problems in South Africa's rural communities. And I held that close to my heart. And I've been running with it. And my career has blossomed into this beautiful, impactful career. So I think find what you're really passionate about, harness that, and then we live in a very different society as 20 years ago. You have, the assistance of AI, but obviously making use of AI in a very ethical way to help you, navigate these different career spaces. So yeah, that's the best. And work hard. There's no two ways about it. Work very hard.
Yeah. And literally just finally, just to close off basically, for listeners of this, I don't know whether we call it a podcast or something, but of this conversation, who would like to connect or learn from you, if they want to make that contact, how can they go about it?
I am always open to conversations on LinkedIn. I think that's the best way to reach out to me. So Tlalane Letlhaku on LinkedIn, you can send me an invite. I will accept it. Pop me an inbox and say, hey, I'd like you to be my mentor and, or maybe guide me, through something because I mean, obviously a mentorship relationship don't just form. But yeah, I'm always open to have conversations. I mean, I randomly got a call last year from a UCT alumna, and I think it was during I don't know, one of
The Phonathon fundraising, yeah.
fundraising. And after the conversation, she she DM'd me on LinkedIn, added me on LinkedIn, and we had a conversation. I think that's just if you don't have a network close to you, reach out to people and you can contact me. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, thank you very much. It's been a very wonderful conversation and getting to know some of our UCT alumni actually are doing great things out there, and literally you are one of them. And it's also interesting actually that you mixed passion and also it's passion, determination to get what you want. And today you're not just waking up into like, oh, I need to go to this job, but you're waking up to something that you're excited about. And and I've been one of the few people actually who actually get to follow your career where you're doing great things. I mean, you also traveling the world where you actually also got to learn more, especially about in your space and as to what other countries are doing and how we can also bring that back. And I actually do hope also that like some of the students who are watching this will be inspired into following not just again in civil engineering and water, but whatever that they're doing in their space. So yeah, I just want to say again, thank you for your time and thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you for having me, Lando.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I just want to say actually thank you very much for joining us actually in this conversation and actually where we get to learn more about what South Africa and the Department of Water and Sanitation in South Africa is doing, and also you inspiring actually the new water engineers that are coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically we were speaking with Tlalane Letlhaku, who's from the Department of Water and Sanitation, also a UCT alumna. So if you want actually to continue the conversation, you can find us at UCT Alumni on all social media platforms, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Thanks, Tali.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.